So welcome officially everyone for the Backstage community session. This is the May edition. We do have a little bit of a slim agenda today. I think perhaps that's in time with the preparation of the summer. I don't know why in general, I looked at the data in general, May looks a little bit more lightweight compared to the previous months. But nevertheless, I wanted to quickly touch base on the release highlights. We have oh, awesome. Thank you. We can talk more about that in the Q&A. Happy to talk more if you have any questions. That's awesome. I'm sorry, I'm reading it from the chat. I wanted to touch base quickly on the 139, which just shipped out of the oven yesterday, to quickly touch base some of those release highlights in there. And then I want to make a brief note on BackstageCon and KubeCon. And yes, it feels like we just had London a few weeks back, but there's some deadlines I just wanted to make sure everyone is aware about for the November edition that's going to happen in the US, but we're going to cover that in a bit. And then maybe move to the QA again, because we have less content today from our side. We can perhaps take more time on the Q&A to take more questions. That said, let me quickly touch base on the release highlights. As I mentioned, we shipped 139 yesterday with a couple of breaking changes, but also a couple of new things in there that I wanted to briefly cover. First and foremost, I think this has been a constant in the last, I don't know, Fredvin, how many releases now? Maybe like 10. We keep removing the old backend system, and each release we sort of like chip away at that. So in this release, we removed some of those bits for the auth backend, catalog backend, permission backend, just to name a few. There's a few lists in the release changelog. We're also nearly completion with removing the Backstage backend common, which has been on the map for a while. So we're very close to doing that, perhaps in the near releases. So that's sort of like in the breaking change category. Also on the same category, we removed one of the processors from the build-in section as you install a fresh new Backstage. As part of the major bump that happened in the catalog backend, as I mentioned, the previous removal there, the CodeOwnerProcessor was also removed from defaults, mostly because it was a bit expensive to run. Rest assured, you can still add that manually if you want to. There's a way to enable it that's described in the release notes, but just so you're aware, that's no longer part of the defaults in there. With the 139 release, we also say goodbye to React 17, which has been in the books for a while. It's officially now deprecated, and the CLI of Backstage now will sort of like signal you with a warning if you still try to use it. There's a documentation migration guide to bump to React 18. If you haven't seen that, please go have a look. Within this release, we also have a new scheduler service that has its own API. So the core scheduler now comes with its own REST API to use in case you want to list or trigger tasks and whatnot. Please refer to the documentation of this. Moreover, we continue to chip away at the new design system Canon, who reached a 0.40 release. There's a bunch of changes with the buttons and everything. I didn't want to cover that in here, but if you check the release notes, there's a changelog specifically for Canon with all of the recent updates in there. So go have a look. Again, this is still an experimental alpha, but if you have a chance to sort of like play with that and channel the feedback, that'll be awesome. Along with this release, we also have a new flag for omitting ownership claims. The auth plugin backend now supports omitting the ownership claims in issued identity tokens, which is great because configuring this flag means your user tokens will be much smaller in size. That's no longer part of the token. However, the flip side of that is that obviously that's no longer self-contained. So if anyone wants to actually inspect those sort of like ownership claims, they have to make an extra endpoint call, which in some cases it may be a problem. In some, hopefully it won't. But there's a new flag that you can configure in there that you can use. Also, with this release, we have JSX elements in the internationalization interpolation, which now transparently supports the elements interpolation. This makes it much easier for things like including links in a message to keep that translation flexible. So go have a look, or if you were looking for this feature, this is now enabled in 139. Moving on, we also have a sign-in fallback for users not present in the catalog. There's an option to now supply a fallback user identity in case the catalog lookup returns an empty response. Now, there are many of the available auth providers modules now support a similar configuration that enables this using a provider-specific fallback. So this is really, really useful for cases where, yeah, the catalog lookup returns an empty response, but you still want to treat that case. Thank you so much, Jessica, I believe from Red Hat, for contributing this feature. Thank you for that. Also, with this release, we ship federated credentials for Azure DevOps integration. You can now manage identities with federated credentials for Azure DevOps via the Entra ID, removing the need for client secrets, especially useful, if I understood this right, for the cross-tenant scenario. So you no longer expose some of those secrets when you want to log in with a different Entra ID in there. So that's very useful to have for those of you that have that set up in your adoption. Thank you so much, Thunder, for this. I hope I also pronounced your name correctly there. We also have the backend defaults caching server now supports Bulky as a configurable client. Thank you, G1 Bol for this. And then last but not least, there's a custom auth connector implementation for the front end. OAuth 2 Plus now supports this custom connector, enabling easier integration with non-standard auth providers. Thank you so much, Gassan, for providing this in this release. Again, these are some of the major highlights among other contributions. Thank you so much for all of you, part of the community, to make this release happen. On that note, I wanted to briefly touch base on the BackstageCon and KubeCon. As I mentioned, it does feel like London was what, not like a month ago, maybe 6 weeks ago, and it's still somewhat fresh in, at least in my memory. But the reason I bring this up is we have the North American counterpart obviously happening in the fall. It's going to be on the 10th of November, BackstageCon specifically, and then the KubeCon for the next 3 days. This is happening in Atlanta, Georgia. And the reason I bring this up so early is that the call for proposals and submissions are due quite soon. So for the KubeCon, submissions are due on Tuesday, May 27th. So that's in less than a week. And for the BackstageCon, submissions are due on Monday, 30th on June. So we still have a little bit of time. And I believe for some of the tracks, that's very oddly rendered. Sorry, the asterisk was supposed to be on the left. For some of the tracks in the BackstageCon, that's actually a week later. So we still have about 5-6 weeks for submissions in there to happen. But I just wanted to call it out because it's often the case where people want to attend, or in case that they're able to attend, they missed the deadline ahead of time. So I just wanted to call the alarm ahead of time to make sure that if you have an amazing idea or whatnot to submit, feel free to do that on the website. And that's it. I think that's pretty much quite lightweight and slim for today. I'll just open the floor for Q&A. And I'm going to, in the meantime, take a break and just quickly read the comments in here if there's anything that we need to call out. Scheduler API, chef's kiss. Awesome. Awesome to hear that. Thank you, Peter. I'm still not over the fact that I had to stay home. Oh, I'm sorry for that, Benjamin. Yeah, I hope you make it to the North America counterpart. London was actually my first one that I attended as well in how many years now I've been here. So I hope you managed to get the North America one. I don't know size-wise, Fred, you've been to a couple of them. How do they compare size-wise? You've been to London, you've been to, I think, all of them in the US, or at least the last one you've been there. How do they compare in size, audience, and whatnot?
Just the last one. No, it's roughly comparable. I think this one was a bit bigger, but it's hard to tell because these venues they're so massive and there's a lot of ongoing parallel conventions and so on So it's hard to sort of gauge almost, right? Because there's so much people and so much going on around. But yeah, it was big anyway, and it was great.
Yeah, thank you for that, Previn. And yeah, good luck, Benjamin. I hope you manage to secure that for US. Heike, oh, hello. Are there multiple tracks in the upcoming BackstageCon? Ooh, I'm ashamed to say I don't know on this one, but I should check on the website. I don't know. Usually BackstageCon is one, right, Previn?
Yeah, I'd
I
have to double
don't,
check with marketing actually what we're setting up there.
yeah. I checked on the, let me see, I don't have a screenshot. I don't have a screenshot. I can check quickly online. But yeah, we usually have only one sort of like single thread for BackstageCon, and then some bits of the backstage are part of the KubeCon tracks as well, where we have the maintainers talk and whatnot. So, but yeah, I can follow up on that, Heike. I don't know yet how that looks like. Not sure if I can use my company to fly across the world. I do my best. Yeah, I know the feeling. Uh, yeah, no worries. Thank you had to drop Peter. No worries for that. Uh, Let me see if there's anything else. I like how helping the community has been in Discord. Definitely got myself over a few humps after reading the documentation. Oh, that's awesome to hear. Always good to hear feedback about the Discord. Thank you for that. Conversely, if you have constructive feedback and whatnot, that's equally welcomed. So feel free to channel that as well if you have it. All right, let me see. There's no more questions, no more comments in there. I'll maybe pause for a little bit, but we delivered an MVP to our last week. Good vibes so far. Nice. That is awesome. All right, I'll pause for a few more minutes to see if there's any ongoing questions that people may have. If not, happy to wrap a slimmer version for May and give you back the time. Are there any plans to graduate Backstage in CNCF? Ooh, Hike, you bring all the spicy topics now today. I actually have to go back on that one. I don't know where we are there, unless Preben, you have more context to share.
I don't know of any uh, active work towards it. It's a bit of a big thing. I mean, who knows about the future, but I don't know of any efforts right now, at least.
Yeah, let me look into the room if there's anyone else in our. But yeah. Any presentation of the new AI feature? Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, it's not a feature yet. We're looking into it. We're working on it, and we'll let everyone know when we have something to present. It's we're having a great time experimenting with it though. It's an interesting area overall. Yeah, exactly. New AI feature question mark? Yeah, there isn't one. But yeah, like we have our ears to the ground, as we've said, about the explosion of MCP and similar things going on. And we're looking at it. It's all I can say right now. Oh yeah, I mean, same response there. Like we're looking into it, and we'll announce something more when we know. Demoing on June 4th. What would that be?
About the webinar, I guess that's the question. Let me see.
Ah, that I don't know.
I was gonna I was gonna put drum rolls and be like, well, I hope you join on the June 4th and you're gonna be able to see that. I don't know, do we have marketing here? Maybe they'll be able to speak more on that. I see Alex there. Oh, hey.
Hi, I'm gonna reply to you directly, Abinay, but here's a link where you can find some more information on what's on the agenda for our June 4th webinar.
Thank you, Alex.
Yeah. Also, going back to two questions, I don't have all the information on the BackstageCon talk track yet. As soon as we get more information on that, I think probably we can let you all know via Discord. And then the other question was, oh, graduating the project. Again, I also
Congratulations.
don't know. Yeah, I don't have all the information on that yet, but something we can definitely think about. Thank you.
Yeah, lots of good questions. Thank you. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. No worries. Heike, I think that was a hit and run. Well, I'm teasing you. Don't mind me. Thanks for all the questions. Yeah, happy to follow up on some of those. Can you do the Backstage Con? Uh, Not sure how to answer that, to be honest.
I mean, that would be the dream. But no, I don't think we have any plans for that anytime soon, I think.
One step at a time, isn't it?
Yeah, would love that though.
One in each part of the planet. All right. Oh, Benjamin, is next BackstageCon EU in London again? I don't know, but I doubt that. I think in past experience we had, I want to say Paris, Amsterdam, and now London. So yeah, well, yeah, could be. I think it's too early, probably. I don't think the decision has been within the CNCF for next year. Yeah, I think we know, but like looking at the geographical distribution, it's usually different every year. In the US, they also like change every year. It's been Chicago, Detroit, I think. I don't know what else was there. And yeah, this year is Atlanta. So I would assume they change it
It's
every year.
responded in the chat.
Oh, it's Amsterdam again. Oh, interesting. Oh, okay. Sorry. I wasn't aware of that. Must have been recent. I lost track. Oh, that's awesome. Sorry. Okay. I apologize for that. I lost it. Oh, that's cool. Amsterdam. It's been 2 years ago. Here, I think 2024 was there. Nice. All right, Benjamin. So yes, I hope you, yeah, if you can't make the US one in the fall, I hope that you make it for the Amsterdam one in uh, next spring. Is Barcelona? Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Common theme, believe me, especially in that part of in that time of the year. I'm looking at Red Hat RBAC plugin. Do I have to rewrite my current permission policies? Um, Preben, do we have Preben, do you want to try to get that one?
I haven't used it myself. I wish we had perhaps Vincenzo or so around from who works more in the community repo. I don't have a straight answer, sorry.
Yeah, feel free to follow up maybe on Discord and tag one of us, and then yeah, maybe we can rope in Vincenzo.
Yeah.
May have a better answer there. I I'm not gonna say anything about Amsterdam because clearly I'm out of date. I need to catch up with the events, but maybe Alex knows more. Do we know the venue in Amsterdam, Alex?
The what now?
The venue for next year, BackstageCon in Amsterdam.
That's a good question. Let me see if I can find it. I have no idea actually. Um,
Usually they put it, so yeah, maybe if you look at the, like, I think Adam posted the link in there, so usually when they announce it, sometimes they also put they book these things ahead, so I wouldn't be surprised if they actually know that.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything, so probably TBD.
Okay.
Yep.
TBD, no worries, no worries. So there are a couple of questions that we need to follow up on. I think they get saved, so I'll follow up on some of these, but if not, feel free to reach out on Discord. Cool. I'll wait for a few more minutes to see if there's anything else that comes into the chat. Going once. Going twice. All right. I don't see any other questions. Hopefully we answered all of them. And again, if we haven't, happy to follow up on, oh, do we know when React 19 will come in? Sorry, just wanted to grab that one last minute. I see Patrick in the room as well. Patrick or Freben, do we have a plan for that?
I believe we need to deprecate support for React 17 first, if I remember correctly, which means it'll be a little while, and remove support for it. But I'm not entirely sure. I know Paul has been working in that area, Paul Schultz.
Do we have Paul today? Oh,
So
no, we
there,
don't.
yeah, there might be more information available on GitHub around that. I believe there is an issue with more information.
Cool. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Benjamin. There's, yeah, the tracking issue for that is now on the meeting chat. So whoever asked the question, I don't know, because it's anonymized here, feel free to check in there. Thank you, Prabin. Yeah, makes sense. Thanks for the question. Yeah, we should probably engage in that yeah, issue in there and follow up in there. Cool. If there are no more other questions, thank you so much for everyone for joining us today. I wish you all a wonderful rest of your day, wherever you are on the planet. Take good care of you. Thank you.